Good day, everyone. So we are group 7 and our lesson is lesson 6, the ethical challenges of today. So there are three concepts. The first one is moral challenges of globalization. Second one is millennials and millennials ethical challenges and responses. The third one is ethics and religion. Learning outcomes. Identify the moral challenges of globalization. State the qualities of millennials. Differentiate ethics from religion. Create a standpoint in dealing with globalization and Filipino morality. And the last one is appreciate the role of religion in a globalized world. So, moral challenges of globalization. So, for now is let us define what is globalization. So, according to World Health Organization, globalization is the increased interconnectedness and interdependence of peoples and countries. It is generally understood to include two interrelated elements: the opening of international borders to increasingly fast flow of goods, services, finance, people, and ideas, and the changes in institutions and policies at national and international level and facilitate or promote such flows. So, this is the process of increasing interconnectedness and interdependence between individuals, organizations, and countries around the world. It involves the free movements of goods, services, people, and ideas across international borders, and the changes in policies and institutions that enable and promote these flows. However, globalization has also brought challenges, including job displacement, income inequality, and environmental degradation. These challenges highlight the need of policies that balance the benefits and costs of globalization and promote sustainable development. So, Thomas Friedman naman din, iya pong ang globalization. So, according to Thomas Friedman, globalization is the inexorable integration of markets, transportation systems, and communication systems to a degree never witnessed before, in a way that is enabling corporations, countries, and individuals to reach around the world farther, faster, deeper, and cheaper than ever before. So, Thomas Friedman refers to the process of globalization, which involves the integration of markets, transportation systems, and communication systems around the world. This integration is happening at an unprecedented pace, and it is enabling corporations, countries, and individuals to connect with each other more easily, quickly, and affordably than ever before. The inexorable integration of these systems has enabled corporations, countries, and individuals to reach around the world farther, faster, deeper, and cheaper than ever before. This has brought many benefits, such as increased economic growth, job creation, and cultural exchange. However, it has also created challenges, such as job displacement, income inequality, and environmental degradation, which require policies responses to ensure that the benefits of globalization are shared more widely and sustainably. So the rise of radical inequality. So radical inequality refers to a situation where there is a significant and unjust difference in power, privilege, or resources between different individuals or groups in a society. This inequality can be based on factors such as race, gender, social class, sexual orientation, or other aspects of a person's identity. Different ethical frameworks. First is utilitarian ethics, an ethical theory that determines right from wrong by focusing on outcomes. So, utilitarian ethics is a moral philosophy that focuses on promoting the greatest happiness for the greatest number of people. It is a consequentialist ethical theory, meaning that it evaluates the morality of an action based on its consequences rather than on the action itself or the motives behind it. Example is multinational corporation deciding to invest in renewable energy sources in order to reduce their carbon footprints and promote sustainable practices. The decision to invest in renewable energy may result in higher costs in the short term, but the long-term benefits are seen as outweighing this cost. In this case, Utilitarian ethics would support the decision to invest in renewable energy because it promotes the greatest happiness for the greatest number of people. The decision is based on the principle of maximizing pleasure and minimizing pain, as it seeks to reduce carbon emissions and promote sustainable practices that benefit the environment and future generations. The decision also takes into account the interests of all individuals affected by the decision, including the company, their customers, and society as a whole.
Deontological ethics, take from the Greek word deon, means duty. Actions are good and bad according to a clear set of rules. So deontological ethics focus more on reason rather than the sequences of an action. For example, a police officer na as her duty to protect and maintain peace na ay possibility or posibilidad na makapatay siya. Dili aksidente but part na sa iyang job and duty. So the sequences sa iyang action or kahinatnan sa iyang action dili magmatter kay part na sa iyang duty as police officer. So deontological ethics is dili importante ang sequences or kahinatnan sa iyang action if tama iyang rason. Virtue ethics, take from Aristotle, virtue ethics, the golden means. A character-based approach to morality assumes that we acquire virtue through practice. What is golden mean? Golden mean is a moral behavior and the mean between two extremes. Duha ka lapas sa limitasyon. So unsa man ang two extremes? Ang two extremes is the excess and deficiency. Excess is you want more than necessary. Gusto ka og daghan. For example, ana is lack of moderation sa usa ka butang. Mao na ang excess. Ang deficiency naman is a lack or a shortage of things that you wanted. Example ana is you're failing in the exam or nakay shortcoming sa usa ka butang. So deficiency is lacking something you want. Ang golden means is a moderation between two extremes, mo to siya ang excess and deficiency. So the virtue of ethics, golden means, teach us to be moderate and have self-control in our actions and many things we do and we want. The rise and challenges of pluralism. The native culture has been relegated into secondary status in favor of foreign ones. This results to a plurality of culture, value, and viewpoint to exist in a society. Ang pluralism ay usa ka sitwasyon which people na lahi og social class, religion, race, or etc. na naghiusa sa usa ka society na walay pagkasamok bisan lahi ilahag tradisyon or interes. Why is pluralism challenging? Ganun challenging man kaayo ang pluralism. It's because of a structural imbalance of power, where a person is higher than another or na siya'y taas na kutungkulan sa society, as well as structured social exclusion that can be challenging for pluralism. So, how can there be a full of democracy when a society effectively exclude some group from education because of a gender or because they can't afford it? So, maon ang challenging sa pluralism where naa siya imbalance of power and social exclusion. Naga-exclude siya sa ubang tao. Dili siya open sa tanan. The points here is under summarize pluralism. First, pluralism is not diversity alone, but energetic engagement with diversity. Second is it is not just tolerance, but active seeking of understanding across differences. Third is pluralism is not relativism, but the encounter of commitment. Fourth is pluralism is based on dialogue. Universal value. First is caring for the young. Second, murder is wrong. Third is telling the truth.
Millennials and Millennials, ethical challenges and responses. So in 2010 survey, there are estimated 25 million millennials or Filenials in the Philippines. So Filenials is a term or a shorter term for a Filipino millennials. So the Philippines was once dubbed as the social media capital of the world. So most Filipino youths today own a mobile phone and use the internet. It was found that almost every Filipino youth have a social media account. And the most common application used by millennials among these various platforms is the Facebook. So there are four generations of today. First is the traditionalist, born between the years of 1900s and 1945, generation that lived two world wars. So the traditionalists are sometimes called the silent generation because they were born during a time when it was believed that children should be seen and not heard. This generation grew up during the Great Depression or the economic downturn that occurred in the 1930s and the World War II, which were period of significant hardship and challenges. These experiences likely had a profound impact on their worldview and values, and helped shape the character and behaviors of this generation. They were often taught to be frugal, hardworking, and obedient. As a result, traditionalists tend to be more reserved and cautious in their approach to life, and were less likely to openly express their opinions or engage in social and political activism. The second is the baby boomers, people who are born between 1946 and to 1964. They are so called because of the significant increase in population during their period. So baby boomers got its name because of the significant increase in population during their period. As returning soldiers settled down and started families, that caused a significant increase in birth rates after World War II. So third is the Generation X, born between the years of 1965 to 1980. The generation born in the era of video games and computers. Generation X is sometimes referred to as the MTV generation because they came of age during the rise of the Music Television Network or MTV. They were influenced by a diverse range of music and media and experienced significant technology advances. They are known for being independent, adaptable, and skeptical of authority. And fourth is the millennials, born between the years of 1981 to 2000, or also called the digital native. Millennials are often referred to as digital natives because they were the first generation to grow up with a widespread access to digital technologies like personal computers, smartphones, and the internet. Next is the Generation Z. Generation Z is the fifth generation. People who are born between the years of 2001 to the present. So as you may ask, if you may ask why is the Generation Z is not included in the fourth generation of today, it is because it is still in the process. It's not yet ended since today we are living in the Generation Z. So back to the topic, Generation Z is also called the I generation because they have grown up with a range of internet enabled technologies such as smartphones, social media, and instant messaging apps. These technologies have been integrated into their lives from a very young age and have a profound impact on their socialization, communication, and cultural values. The I in the I generation can also stand for a range of other words, such as individual, interactive, and innovative, which reflect some of the defining characteristics of this generation. Overall, the label of I generation reflects the profound impact that digital technology have on this generation and their role in driving technological innovation and change. Qualities of millennials. So number one, 83% of Filipino youths rely on their parents for advice. Filipino parents are often seen as authority figures and are respected for their experience, wisdom, and knowledge. Young people may seek the advice of their parents because they trust their judgment and believe that their parents have their best interests at heart. Number two, on adulthood, millennials value close family relationship. So, as Filipinos, we are considered our family as the core unit of society, and we highly value close family ties. Many Filipino millennials were raised in extended families where multiple generations live together and share responsibilities for caring for children and elderly family members. This close-knit living arrangement has instilled a strong sense of family loyalty and obligation, as well as a deep appreciation for the support and care that the family members provide for one another. So third is age limit for living with parents is 30 years old. So it is cultural norm for Filipino youth to stay with the parents until they finish their studies or until they can afford to live independently. The age limit of 30 years old may be seen as a general guideline for achieving financial stability and maturity before moving out of their parents' house or home. However, this may vary depending on individual circumstances. So fourth is they are more active in social media and easily influenced by peers. So Filipino youth, like many young Filipino around the world, are highly active in social media due to its accessibility, affordability, and the desire to connect with friends and peers. Social media platforms have become an integral part of their social lives, enabling them to interact and share information with a wider network of people. In addition, the influence of peers is also significant in Filipino youth culture, where close relationship and group affiliation are highly valued. This social influence can shape their attitudes, behaviors, and decisions, including their use of social media. So fifth is 61% of young Filipino feel pressured to portray themselves in the best way possible in social media due to several factors. Social media has become a platform where people showcase their lives, achievements, and milestones, and it has created a culture where people are expected to present a perfect image of themselves. This to conform to social standards of success, beauty, and happiness can lead to anxiety and the need of constantly curate one's online presence. In addition, the fear of missing out on social events and experiences can also contribute to the pressure of portraying a positive image on social media. So number six, 96% of Filipino youth feel it is important to a positive contribution to the community. It is because of their strong sense of social responsibility and community. Or Filipinos, in general, prioritize collective welfare and social harmony, and this is reflected in the millennials generation's desire to give back and make difference in the society. Additionally, the rise of the social media and the internet has made it easier for Filipinos to become aware of social issues and participate in causes that they are passionate about. This sense of social consciousness and desire for social impact is, is a defining characteristic of a millennial generation in the Philippines. So there are three enduring truth about the youth. First is the notion of needing to find yourself. Youth often feel a sense of uncertainty and are searching for their identity and purpose in life. This can be a confusing and difficult process, but it is also an essential part of growing up and finding one place in the world. Two, friends are everything. Friends are an important aspect of youth culture. Young people often form close relationships with their peers and value their friendship highly. Friends provide emotional support, social validation, and a sense of belonging that is crucial during the formative years. For many Filipino youth, friends are not just people they hang out with, but they are considered as an extension of their family. So third is finding your place in the world. Finding one's place in the world is a common challenge for youth. Young people often feel pressure to figure out their career goals, personal values, and life path. This search for purpose and meaning can be a lifelong journey, but it is especially pronounced during the teenage and young adult years. Filipino youth are driven by the desire to make a positive impact on their communities and contribute to greater good. They seek opportunities to develop their skills, pursue their passions, and make a difference in the world. For some, this may involve pursuing higher education or volunteering, while for others, it may mean pursuing a career that aligns with their values and goals. Here are some of the ethical challenges faced by the millennials today are as follows. Filipino millennials face several ethical challenges in their lives, including issues related to gender and sexuality. One of the significant challenges is the acceptance of same sex unions, which have been a continuous issue in the conservative Philippine society. Another challenge is premarital sex, which is often viewed negatively and goes against the traditional values of the country. The third challenge is the issue of divorce, which is not legal in the Philippines, and couples have to go through a lengthy and expensive process to get their marriage annulled. This can lead to couples staying in abusive or unhappy marriage due to the lack of options. Mental health is also a growing concern among Filipino millennials, with the increasing number of cases of depression and suicide. The stigma surrounding mental health issues often prevents people from seeking help, leading to more severe consequences. Lastly, the ongoing armed conflict in some part of the country and the threat of war pose significant ethical challenges to the youth. The conflict not only affect their physical safety, but also raises questions about the use of violence as means to resolve conflicts.
Ethics and religion. So, what is religion? Religion comes from the Latin word religare, which means to bind back. It is part of our culture, and the relationship between religion and ethics is our judgment between our religions. Doing good or bad. Religion can be understood as the act or habit inclining a person to render worship of God or servicing of God. Religion can be broadly defined as a set of belief, practices, and values that relate to the nature of existence, the meaning of life, and the relationship between human beings in the world around them. Religious beliefs often involve the concept of higher powers, such as deity or deities, and include ideas about the afterlife, morality, and the purpose of human existence. Religions can take many forms and encompass a wide range of beliefs and practices. Some of the major world religions include Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, Buddhism, Judaism.
The role of religion in our globalized world. Globalization paved the way for the creation of international organizations such as United Nations and ASEAN. It is because of globalization, daghan na create na international organization. Example na ato is ang UN and ASEAN. Various religious traditions share values to uphold with these institutions. In the reach of history of the world, different religions have already come. Example na sa mga religion is ang Buddhism, Islam, Hinduism, and Christianity. It is globalization made this contact. With one click of a button, communication already established. Like sa atong generation karon, dali ra kayo makaspread og mga information, makaspread og mga word of God. So religion teach us values such as human dignity, equality, freedom, and also it gives world peace. Religion gives meaning and purpose to life.
The role of religion in a globalized world first is religion tolerance. So from the word tolerance, so it means the ability to tolerate other religions by recognizing, accepting, and allowing from different religions. Religion's tolerance is allowing other people to think or appreciate their spiritual values, beliefs, practices were are different from our religion. So instead, by giving our point or opinion to their religion, because of our differences, so we joined hands both in act of prayer and acts of services and work together towards from the common good of mankind. So we recognize and accept each other by working together from the different religions such as Muslims, Baptists, Catholics, and many other religions.
The ecumenical movement. Ecumenism is the concept and principle that Christians who belong to different Christian denominations should work together to develop closer relationships among their churches and promote Christian unity. Ang ecumenism is like a movement na ginapromote siya sa mga believer ni Christ na despite sa ilang differences, dapat mag-unite gyapon sila since isa ra man gyapon ang ilang gituan. For example is ang Catholic and born again. Bisan lahi sila og sekta pero isa ra gyapon ang gituan which is si God. So ang goal nila is to serve God and humanity more effectively as one united church.